My name is Emily and I have a company called Blaze, which produce ultimate products for urban cyclists. The number of people on the ground in China is the most help. I mean, I've been out 3 times, and the trip before last was when I really saw the number of people on the ground involved. Beyond the 10 who are on everyday email list and everyday Skype calls, it's the other people who, I didn't even know they existed, and they know my product, elements of it better than I do. I flew out for New Year's and spent a week in China for over New Year's, basically to give my project manager, Bob Wang, a very large hug, because the guy's been absolutely incredible. There's so many problems. You're constantly problem solving. You don't know what the problems are going to be until they arise. And he and his team have been just absolutely incredible. I mean, they're working so hard. They are completely part of my team. They're completely dedicated, and they love the product as much as I do. And knowing that they're there to actually kind of get in the car and go to a factory and, oversee everything is just the most amazing peace of mind. And it's pretty overwhelming. It's very, very cool. Our casing manufacturer has been a complete nightmare. The casings, they recommended a process that the light should be made in to make the casings. They then realised quite far down the line, once we're kind of going to full production, no, they can't be made that way. So the process now involves 17 steps in 3 different factories. And they originally, because we're so small, didn't give us the attention that we needed, and hadn't put a project manager on the project, so constantly late, and we just weren't getting product from them at all. And that required my team from PCH to be at the factory on a daily basis, standing there, having a presence, just tapping feet and looking at watches and being like, come on guys, we need product. And having that kind of, the dedication to actually pick up the phone every 10 seconds and put pressure on. I mean, I can't do that from London. So it's amazing, absolutely amazing to have them to do that. Overseeing everything, so bringing it all together. There are so many moving parts and each one's dependent on the one before, but then that's all got to be communicated. So there's probably about 15 different suppliers for the laser light, and they've all got to be talking to each other, and Bob kind of oversees all of that. And then the team within PCH and the different engineers, and there's just, managing all of that information, and then feeding it back to us. So we've got one kind of port of contact with PCH. Yes, amazing. The number of people and the attention to detail from every single one of them that's required. And he said a really cool quote, which is actually on my shop locker interview, which is that something about we're all problem solving, otherwise we're just animals. I quite like that. Timelines, things being late, timeline being changed or being pushed back, me putting a lot of pressure on them to make things quicker. Timing's been a big one. What else? I mean, just engineering issues that come up from the design for manufacture. Things that you don't know is going to be there until you're actually making it. Sure. But the problem solving, and we need to know what's going on and have a say on what the decision is, and influence all of that, but it's a constant flow of information back and forth. Sleep's not hasn't featured massively in the last year. This month I've flown 83 hours so far, and I've got another 11 to go. And I'm up in the middle of the night just buzzing, just thinking about things. It's not worry, but it's more kind of excitement. With China, we manage it quite well, as in the kind of actual communication. So we have a weekly conference call, and that's at 9 o'clock in the morning our time, which is 4 p.m. their time, which works quite well. And I'm bad at not checking my phone and my email in the middle of the night, because once I've done that, I'm awake, and I'm then responding, and I'm then not sleeping. Got it. A lot. Oh yeah, a lot, an awful lot. And that's hard, because I mean the question I've been asked the most frequently this entire year is, when's the product arriving? It's my favourite question. It's like, when did I get to it? I'm more impatient than everybody else, because I just want the product here. But it's and you can't give an honest hand on heart answer, because things change the whole time. So Bob's pretty good, because he is actually quite pessimistic, and he's quite cautious about kind of timelines and stuff. So often we bring the timeline in, which is really exciting. But it is a movable picnic. So this is a very weird feeling. So Dan told me just before I went on stage, showed me the screenshot of your first delivery of your first light, and that literally happened today. They left China on Monday, so that's nearly 2 days ago now, and they're on their way. So from now on, we're going to start seeing people, and I just saw on Instagram a photograph of somebody of their first laser light. And that moment when I think cycling around town and seeing somebody else with a little green bike on the road, I might just go a little bit nuts. But that'll be a really exciting moment where people start seeing it in action. Then it's going to start, hey, what's that? It's a Blaze light. Blaze.cc. Check it out. It's going to be green because the human eye is most sensitive to green light, so it's most visible. But yeah, different casings, anodizing, different colours. There's a range of lights. We've even got a rear light which is designed up, which will be launching in the autumn. And a ton of other products, because there's so many problems for urban cyclists. And we're already prototyping a bunch of them and things we're looking at. Bike security, we've identified as the next biggest problem after personal security. There's a ton of things we want to do. We want to be the ultimate brand for urban bikers.